And let's play the clip right now that you're talking about, Joe, of Jared Kushner. This is in the middle of a steep rise in COVID cases last spring. White House senior advisor, presidential son-in-law Jared Kushner, telling Bob Woodward the president was, quote, getting the country back from the doctors. The comment made in an April 18th taped interview with Woodward while he was working on his second book about the Trump presidency titled Rage. CNN obtained a copy of this tape. Listen.
The last thing was kind of doing the guidelines, which was interesting. And that, in my mind, was almost like, it was almost like Trump getting the country back from the doctors, right, in the sense that what he now did was, he's going to own the open up. There were three phases. There was the panic phase, the pain phase, and then the comeback phase. I do believe that last night symbolized kind of the beginning of the comeback phase. That doesn't mean there's not still a lot of pain, and there won't be pain for a while, but that basically was, we've now put out rules to get back to work. Trump's now back in charge. It's not the doctors. They've kind of, we have like a negotiated settlement.
So, Joe, Trump is back in charge. That was the message. And just to orient everybody, April 18th, that's 6 days after, remember, President Trump wanted to reopen the country arbitrarily on Easter, on April the 12th. He said, let's get it back open just a couple of weeks after we had some of these shutdowns across the country. But you have Jared Kushner saying out loud that President Trump is getting the country back from the doctors. In other words, this is a political exercise. We came, we saw, we conquered. Let's stop listening to the doctors now. Donald Trump is in charge. Yeah, he was in charge, and look where we are right now as we sit at the end of October.
Yeah, and again, Trump getting the country back from the doctors, who, of course, the doctors were just trying to save American lives. The doctors were just trying to save the lives of a lot of senior citizens in Florida and a lot of senior citizens in Texas and Arizona. A lot of senior citizens in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Michigan. Look at the pain right now that Wisconsin is going through. Look at the pain that so many people are going through. We're getting up to 1,000 deaths again per day. And, Mika, on April the 18th, really, almost the beginning of this, a month in, really a month in, to where America really was focused on
mapping out the phases of this.
He said, we're now starting the comeback phase.
Really?
Let's see. The comeback phase is about 6 months ago, and here we are at the end of October, just as Anthony Fauci told you. Just as Anthony Fauci told the American people that the fall was going to be bad, and it might even be worse than the spring.
Yeah.
And here we are. And Jared Kushner said the comeback phase started in April. Wrong again. And again, hundreds of thousands of people dead since that time.
He also said publicly that, by July we'd be rocking and rolling. I mean, there's so many ways in which Jared Kushner has showed that he's unmatched for the job that he was put in inappropriately.
Of course he's unmatched for the job.
And sort of the vacancy of thought that he has on many levels. I think at the beginning of the presidency, he chided people he was giving a tour of the White House. We don't need to look at history, almost like we know what we're doing. We don't need to study history. But to think that this man would be put in any type of position of responsibility and be expected to understand the totality of responding to an international pandemic. And let's not stop at Jared Kushner. Mike Pence. He's head of the coronavirus task force. What has he done except make it worse? He has all these people who tells him all these things that need to be done, and none of them get done.
Yeah.
So he's sort of like, what is he, screening the good information to make sure it doesn't get to the president?
Americans just keep dying. Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.